Hey, so this is vlog number 2. I'm trying to expand the Wired Titan blog into other forms of medium like vlogging. If you don't know me, I'm Jess. I'm a network guy. I've been in networks for a while in some ways, right? My first big job was was in networking. So it was like a little bit of VoIP, and then I moved on to a title of a network engineer, right? And I moved pretty quickly in the IT world, got my CCNA, and just kind of like plowed through with experiences and gaining more skills. The idea was, okay, if I get this skill, if I get this certification, I'm going to move on to the next level of salary and wages. The ends was a higher income, a higher income, and a higher income. And you know what? Like being in tech and being like a rare asset with rare skills, those wages really happened. The progression of that happened very quickly. So like, that's what I knew about finances. I was like, the higher income, the better it is with finances. I didn't realize that it was just a small part of a big world of financial advice and independence. That's where I'm coming to understand that like finances have a whole lot more to do with saving your money than making more money. Becoming a network admin or an engineer required me to just get the CCNA and like only a few months of experience with some help desk like work, and also networking with people I knew. And through those avenues, I was able to land a role as a network engineer and progress up to other aspects of technology. Yeah, in no time I was able to make 6 figures. It was like less than 5 years, much less than 5 years, but that's a story for another vlog. But the idea I realized as I was climbing up this ladder of higher earning wages was I understood that I could start making more money, but that was no longer the issue. I could make more money, but what was the issue was keeping it. And that kind of opened up a whole new realm of possibilities. It's less about earning more, but keeping more, right? So coming from a non-IT, non-high wage earning job, I was in food delivery business, and that didn't really make a lot of money. All in all, I think I did the math and it was less than minimum wage because of the car I drove, which got less than 15 miles per gallon. And the parts were always breaking down. So anyways, it was a quick transition from that to making a higher than average wage in the cost of living city I was at, which is Eastern United States, towards the South. So to put in perspective, I was making higher than a cost of living there. And well, actually, eventually I made 6 figures there, and I was paying $400 a month in rent and shared a house with 2 other guys. So that's a really good salary to be making in less than 4 years in the IT industry. So yeah, in saying that, it's just to see that like your salary or your wages was less than minimum wage per hour, and then jumping to 6 figures, your concept of money is, okay, cool, I have more money to spend on things that I don't need or things that were flashy. So I got a BMW, lived in luxury apartments. Yeah, it was just kind of like the lifestyle is showing off, right? Like Instagrammable kind of things. Yeah, that's like nothing new. I feel like that's a real thing with people my age, millennials, everybody really. We're kind of programmed to be consumers rather than investors. And I think that's kind of a huge issue as far as like, it's a hindrance towards freedom in the sense that you can choose your time instead of going to be committed to a certain schedule. With freedom, you can choose to do what you want with your time. rather than having to be accountable to someone else's time, or be accountable to someone else to do things they want. So money does that. It allows you to invest it in a way where you can buy assets instead of liabilities, to buy things that will give your time back versus things that won't give you time back, such as a car, right? Those are what's considered assets. Those are liabilities. They depreciate over time, whereas when you buy assets, they appreciate over time. And those are the concepts I'm learning. As a high wage earner, I've realized that it's more about being able to keep your money than making more. Of course, I'm all about making more money, but the idea of keeping it has been really kind of like what I've been focused at more lately, because it wasn't a concept I grasped fully. So if you're able to keep your money by investing in assets rather than liabilities, it's ideal. It's a good concept to grasp, especially if you're new in tech and haven't like been around people with high income and you had to use their money properly. So that's what I'm learning right now. It's to keep your money, finding different investments to place your money so it grows. So instead of buying a BMW or renting out luxury apartments, being more frugal and doing the things that don't cost money, because a lot of times there's a lot of like enjoyment that can be found in things that don't require money, and most of the times it's the things that don't require money that give you the most amount of enjoyment. Well, let me say that again. It's the things that you don't have to buy things to give you enjoyment. I think it's like your time is better spent in experiences than things. So those are the things that I want to use my money for, is experience, because I think experience is an asset. It does appreciate over time. Like I know, like there's a quote, I'm butchering it, but the joy of an experience isn't complete until it's remembered. So in some ways, experience is an asset because it does appreciate over time. You're able to look back and see the value in an experience and how it's shaped you and how you can learn from it and you'll grow from it. But yeah, I think the mindset of being an investor goes hand in hand with climbing up the ladder and making more money, because you've got to realize that the money that comes in, and if it goes out, what's the point of it? If you're just buying random crap that you don't really need to impress other people or whatever. But when you take the high income that you get and use it wisely, you can put that money into assets that appreciate over time and give your time back and allow you to grow and basically use your time for what you find most meaningful. But making high wages is something I'm still aiming for, so that doesn't mean I've stopped being focused in high wages. I want to make more money. Right now I make 6 figures and I live in like a zero cost of living environment because all my stuff is paid for basically. The only thing I have to pay for is food because my house is covered, my transportation is covered. So I'm kind of like set in that aspect and I can just bank all the money that I'm receiving, or at least most of it. So that's basically where I'm at right now. I want to use my high wages to invest in assets like maybe traveling, to get more experiences, to learn and connect with more people. And from a financial standpoint, I want to use my income and higher wages to put into assets like the market in general, not like 1 or 2 stocks, but the market in general, because over time that's proven to give you returns even in the dips. If you wait it long enough, on average, I've read anywhere between 7 to 9% conservatively So that means around 10 years, the money that you put in now will double, and it's all about the exponential growth when it comes to the stock market, the percentages that allow your money to double if you wait long enough. So that's where I'm at right now. It's just use the income, put it into assets. The assets can be either experiences or the market or things that appreciate from a financial standpoint. There's more things that I've been thinking about, like real estate too, but that'll come later. But the wages come just being in technology. It just comes pretty naturally. Like if you're a focused, dedicated person and you're gaining education, gaining skill sets, getting that CCNA salary will come just like that. I know for my current job, I have to have the CCNA, and I make 6 figures here. It's pretty sweet. The path to become a network engineer or a network administrator is pretty straightforward if you just keep getting your experience in technology and then leverage your roles to be more focused on the network side, and then job hop when the time comes, and the salary comes along with it. But it's important to remember that finances is more than just making high income, but it's also being able to keep your high income.